Hiya, I'm Sam, and welcome to IPR's Game Room. Today, I'll be discussing Laser Kittens and its supplement More Kittens by Danielson and Grimes. Laser Kittens is a game about kittens with lasers and the sort of mischief they get up to. It's a GM-less game for 3 to 5 players, although the supplement has alternative forms of play for 2 to 6 or more players. Laser Kittens is meant to be a playful, whimsical, lighthearted game that takes place at the Knoll Street School for Wayward Kittens, or KSSWK, a foster home for orphan kittens inspired by an actual place, where these orphan kittens will be taken care of by humans, as well as being taught how to be a proper cat and how to control their lasers by the older cats in the home. In order to play, all you need are your character sheets, writing utensils, access to the rulebook, as well as a central deck consisting of 2 decks of playing cards that have had the jokers and face cards removed. At the beginning of play, the players will select NPCs, classes, situations, and their lasers through the use of a hand of the cards from the central deck. The kittens take classes on varying courses, ranging from physics to music to paleontology to basket weaving underwater. Each class is taught by a professor or an older cat in the home, and the classes can provide bonuses or penalties to actions related to the class's subjects. For example, if you were trying to jump onto a counter, you could use your physics class to get a bonus or penalty because you're trying to calculate how high and how hard you have to jump in order to get onto the counter. Every cat has a laser with a name that rhymes with pew pew pew, because cats like puns. The effect of the laser also correlates with the name of the laser. For example, mew 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 is described as being a siren amongst cats, and hew 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 is described as pounce, grab, break all the things. Situations determine things that are, have, or can happen in the setting, to give the players some inspiration for what sort of actions they'd like to play out. Each round, a player will take on the role of class captain. It's the class captain's job to contest the player's actions, which is the system used to determine whether or not an action succeeds or not. The class captain will also help to designate the setting as well as playing the NPCs. On top of that, at the end of each round, they can give players extra cards who they believe have matured. The supplement, More Kittens, comes with a variety of pre-written campaigns, including Cats in Space, where you can play as kittens born on a spaceship set off to TRAPPIST-1E to colonize a new solar system, or Viking Kittens in Greenland, where you can play as kittens living along a fjord with the Vikings. Or Catastrophic Curators, where you can play as kittens under the care of the multi-talented curator at the Grand Egyptian Museum. Each pre-written campaign comes with maps, settings, NPCs, classes, and pre-written player characters to save your group some time. It also comes with other options and smaller games to play in case kittens and lasers aren't quite your cup of tea. Each new game in More Kittens is fully differentiated from the prior game, meaning the first game, Doggy Wags, is pretty much just a reskin of Laser Kittens, but the last game, Shifting Axolotls, is fully unique from the base game in both concept and mechanics. You could play as puppies, attending the Puppy Academy for Wiggly Strays, or Paws, learning how to be humankind's best friend under the watchful gaze of your wise elders. Now, just like the kittens in Laser Kittens, the puppies in this world have lasers, except their lasers come into the tips of their tails, and the names rhyme with zap zap zap, such as lap lap lap, where everyone loves you. They want to snuggle you and exchange pets for kisses. Now, I'm allergic to dogs, especially their saliva, so this doesn't quite seem my cup of tea. But there are other options, all of which use different mechanics or a different base concept other than small pets with lasers. There's Dino Roars, where you play as dinosaurs with names that start with the same letter as the name of their species, i.e. Terry the Tyrannosaurus. And each of them has a powerful roar, such as Czar! You are an emperor among dinosaurs, and peasants will bow to you. Or NPR, a soothing voice and an intellectual take on world affairs. After that is Trash Friends, my personal favorite, where you play as one of a list of animals that likes to eat human trash, such as the garbage cat, aka the opossum, or the Bjorn's Bjornson / Bjorn's daughter / Bjorn's child, aka the bear. You try to find interesting or helpful pieces of trash by ransacking the garbage cans of the neighborhood, and each species also has unique advantages or disadvantages, such as the opossum having advantage to screaming in existential dread or despair, and the ibis having disadvantage to saying swear words. The next game is The Great Escape, where you play as one of a long list of available octopi species, such as the Dumbo or mimic octopus, the infamous blue ring octopus, or the classic giant Pacific octopus. Each player also gets a jet, or a skill that they personally excel at. In The Great Escape, the players are trying to escape, while the aquarium is trying to keep them temporarily contained while the Sunshine Recovery Center cleans up from an environmental accident. You get to explore a variety of tanks, meet a plethora of interesting sea creatures, and scheme your grand escape back to the ocean. Dragon Diplobrats, the fifth game in More Kittens, features a group of juvenile dragons being cared for at a diplomacy meeting currently being held at an ice temple in China for the Elder Dragons. Each dragon is also skilled in one of many dragon ways, such as make a guffaw, where there's something funny in everything and you can make other people see it as well. Next, and a close second on my list of favorites out of all of these, is Toad on the Loose. One player will play as Mr. Toad, an impulsive, proud toad, and the rest will play as his friends, picking from a list of 4 available species. The goal of Mr. Toad is to achieve an impulsive and most definitely illegal action by the end of the game. And the goal of his friends is to prevent him from being able to succeed at the action, or at the very least, keep him from getting caught. Hilda's House for Monstrous Manners, the next game on the list, is, in my honest opinion, probably the cutest game in the entire supplement. You play as a monster with one of many creature features, such as plop, 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 where no one can deny how adorable you are with your little plop, or your silence makes you slippery and sneaky. The goal in this game is to learn how to restrain your monstrous temper and destructive impulses, as well as learn proper manners and be a malevolent source of good. Last, but most certainly not least, is Shifting Axolotls. You play as young axolotls living in the canals of Xochimilco, capable of shifting and taking on the forms of the Mexican pantheon to protect the dreams of young children. You can shift to take on the properties of Tlaloc, Lord of Vertical Waters, to gain control over rain, or Chicomicuatl, Lady of Vegetation, to control and direct the vegetation around you. You take on these shifts to fight off the spawn of Capactl, aka nightmares. There's also 2 much smaller games in the back of the book. Micro Kittens, where you play as adorable kittens trying to get adopted, and Mayor Kitten, where you play as a human who is a member of a cat's mayoral campaign trying to help the cat win and get a cozy spot in their office. Now, all of these games, both of these books, and the pre-written campaigns in More Kittens are pretty simple to play and understand, as well as just honestly being absolutely adorable. As a cat owner, and someone who helped take care of a litter of kittens when I was younger, reading a game about the whimsical adventures that kittens get up to when you're not around was really enjoyable and honestly kind of nostalgic. On top of that, both of these books have really interesting information about the topics they're about. For example, Laser Kittens has an entire section talking about the care of foster kittens. On top of all of that, the mechanics and the sort of writing style and natural lightheartedness of these books and these games really makes me think that these would be the perfect games to introduce someone into the RPG community with, because they're so simple and lighthearted and goofy that they're just something I think anyone could enjoy. Both books are available on the IPR website, linked below. Make sure to also check out our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, as well as the monthly newsletter, which has all of the IPR news you could possibly want. It's only sent out once a month, so it won't clog up your inboxes. And remember, gamers, and that's where you would insert 10 seconds of kitten noises and a picture of our cats.